RedZoneSports.bet, the British home of American sports.
Hello and welcome to the SportsHeads in association with Red Zone Sports. We are the UK's #1 NFL discussion show. It's the penultimate week of the NFL regular season, and it also happens to be Christmas, which is why I have the look of abject misery on my face, the tired look. But we also have Christmas jumpers, so it's not so bad. I'm Simon Millen from Lindy Sports, and Santa's little helpers this afternoon are Sam Morgan of The Verge magazine, who is a man who goes in for meditation because it's better than sitting around doing nothing. And Matt Phillips from UKDraftGuide.com, whose wife tries not to bring out the beast in him because she's afraid of mice. Is that true?
Absolutely.
That's what she told me. Anyway, we're going to have a look at some of the news items for from week 15 and looking ahead to week 16. Of course, the biggest topic of the day was the New England Patriots winning in Pittsburgh, somewhat controversially. Does that catch rule have to be looked at now?
It's time for it to change. I think you can see the Steelers were probably robbed a little bit from their win, and yeah, so we'll probably end up missing out on some great catches and great plays in the future if we don't. You know, revert to things like OBJ, obviously, you know, doing that backwards catch. It could have ended a completely different way, where, you know, he comes back in, hits the ground, ball comes loose. It's sort of, there's got to be some sort of element to that. Like, I think once you break the plane, it's a touchdown for me.
I agree with you totally. Matt.
It's just the catch rule is a joke. I mean, I think most people, most of us agree, don't we? I think they're expecting the officials, Jesse James, to take the ball into the dressing room and out into the car park. You know,
would he still have control there?
Whether that's a football move, who knows what that is? I prefer the college way of doing things, where it's a lot more simpler and they cut down the rules. But like Sam was saying, you know, the rule, by the letter of the rule, it wasn't a touchdown, but to normal people, to the rest of us and the guys playing, that's a touchdown. Yeah. It's no different than a quarterback, you know, as you say, going to sneaking the ball over the line and then like just, you know, tossing it down like they do as a celebration.
Yeah.
You know, it was a touchdown, so they were robbed.
Yeah, I think they were robbed. How does the result affect the destination of the AFC? Does it affect it more or less than Antonio Brown's injury, for instance? I
think it affects it more, in my opinion. I just think that, I think we were talking last week's show that, you know, New England, maybe their sort of kryptonite would be the Steelers, and how the matchup favoured the Steelers. But with all that said, even with Antonio Brown leaving early, this aura of winning that New England has just trumps everything.
Okay, so
yeah, that's the thing. You've hit it there. New England always get the rub of the green with everything. It just seems to be everything just being put in their hands, and that's another. It's just another decision there that just shows you that. And to be fair, you never know. Another umpire will turn around and sort of say, actually, you know, that's okay. You know, and he's done what he's needed. He's in control. He comes through. You know, he's swallowed up the ball, and you don't know. It just seems to be with New England, they always get that side of it. And when you watch the game, for me, watching that game, did they deserve to win that, New England? Not particularly. I don't think they deserved to win that, and it would have really kept it the way it should have been, where the Steelers have been on that sort of rampage.
And the reason they won was Gronkowski, who, in my opinion, should have got at least a 2-game ban for what he did, you know, a couple of weeks ago.
Again, we can talk about NFL rules. Yeah, we can talk about NFL rules all day, because it seems to be, he only got the 1-game ban, and we've seen for less, you know, far worse sort of punishment. So, but yeah, New England are the NFL, aren't they?
Let's have a look at the AFC playoff race graphic, see the teams that are in contention this weekend. We've got New England obviously in the driving seat now, Pittsburgh in the #2 seed. Who wins the AFC and who gets into the playoffs, chaps?
Well, for me, I think New England have got that psychological edge now over the Steelers. I think those two will, if that's possible. I'm not sure about the computations, but if they meet together, I just think the Patriots have proved it now. Yep. In terms of wildcards, I probably favour the Ravens. Also, you know, how the Chargers going to react to their first loss? That's going to be key. Yeah. And like you say, the Patriots are playing the Bills as well. It's going to be 2 from 3 from the Bills and the Chargers and the Ravens. It's going to be really interesting to see. So I think probably
you've got Kansas City basically winning the AFC West.
Well, they need one win out of the next 2 games to do it.
Let's see how they get on, especially at the weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
Dolphins they've got. Sam, what do be?
I think the Ravens will kick off. I said this in previous shows. I think they're a team that seems to just get that job done to get that far. But in terms of actually winning the sort of the AFC side, I think it's still going to be New England again. It's just they're a master of just getting it done and getting to the Super Bowl. They're there, and I don't think Tom Brady will let this opportunity slip at this sort of what could be either his last or penultimate sort of season.
I think the team nobody wants to face is Jacksonville. We'll see where that gets them. But anyway, look at Marvin Lewis and the Cincinnati Bengals. They've agreed to part ways after 15 years. He's been in charge there. I suppose the biggest question you have to say is, overall, has he been a success?
I'm disappointed, in honesty, with the Bengals. I think there was always a little bit of promise there, and it's like, they could go and do something, and then it just didn't happen. And you cannot. I don't think there should be an excuse in the fact that you've got someone like AJ Green on that offense there, and Andy Dalton's not a bad quarterback. He's not. We can talk about quarterbacks all day, and actually, if you look through the league, he's probably one of the better. Not the best, but one of the better ones. So it's made. I mean, I think, and the team they started to bring in a few extra sort of players. I mean, someone like Joe Mixon, we're starting to see him obviously now sort of a bit encouraging from his side. So they had weapons. You can sometimes you look at some of the sort of coaches, anyone sort of at the Browns, for instance. Anyone that would take that job you've got a bit of an excuse. But there isn't, and I think maybe with a better coach, with the players that were there, it could have gone on. So maybe it's probably come a little later than it probably should have, actually.
I think there's 2 distinct sides to this. You've got the side where, look at what the Cincinnati Bengals were before Marvin Lewis came on board. They were one of the basement boys in the NFL, and very, very starved of success.
Back before Sam Weich's days, though, weren't you?
Yeah, of course. That's right. Yeah, but I mean, and then Lewis took them to 4 straight playoff appearances. I think it was at that point there was a discussion that perhaps, be happy with what you have, get into the playoffs, and you buy yourself a lottery ticket.
But when you've got the likes of AJ Green as your wide receiver, you had Mohamed Sanu as well. Remember, I mean, they had some good receivers there for a long time.
I think it's got stale. I think the message that Marvin Lewis had has got stale.
Okay.
He's not as inspiring as he used to be. You can see that just from the body language. And sometimes with coaches, it's just a good time to move on.
But I like the way they've been patient and they've given him every opportunity, and that smacks me as being a classy organisation.
And not just outed him. They're going to see him through the end of the season. So I do respect that, because they could have just said, out you go, bring someone else.
It'd be a revolving door like it is in Cleveland. But who's the favourite for the job, do you think? Who would you pick?
Well, you're going to have to have the customary Jon Gruden link.
Yep.
I mean, once we get past that, then we can probably look at some of the candidates. Also, Magnum PI, he's also on the market. Right. Jeff Fisher, he'll get them to 8-8. I think it's probably going to be one of the coordinators, isn't it? One of the hot names. I mean, we don't know who they've got.
What about your man Najee down in the special teams coach down in Kansas City, Najee?
Dave Toob, isn't it? Well, he's been linked with.
Has he?
Yeah, he's been linked with every job going for the last couple of seasons. He's done a great job with the special teams there.
Right.
You've got Mike Vrabel as well, which I think would be a good fit in
Mike Vrabel would be a good fit for anybody. I mean, he's been sort of turning down. He's down in Houston at the moment, isn't he? He's been 42 years old now. He's been linked with several jobs. He's actually turned down a couple of jobs. He was thinking about going to San Francisco. He was asked to go to San Francisco a couple of years ago and turned it down. I think it's the right time for him.
They've got a lot of talent on that defense as well, that he could maximise their potential.
Yeah,
they're very talented.
Okay. Other coaches for the chopping block?
Bruce Arians. No, I'm joking. Give him some time. I'll give him another season. Chopping block. I think the obvious, we saw obviously McAdoo go. I think it was one of the obvious. Obviously, he's now gone. There isn't anyone for me that sort of stands out that's done a horrendous job, other than sort of the obvious that's already sort of taken place. In terms of sort of the coaches and what we've seen this season, great opportunity to take a punt on sort of a younger coach now. You know,
seems to be the in thing to do, though, doesn't it?
But
the likes of Adam Gase.
It will be now, and but it's also the fact that, you know, we talk about things going stale. That's why I think for the Bengals is go down that direction, to go down that route at this moment, because it's like bring something fresh in, you know. Maybe someone from the college side who maybe has got a little bit, will try something different. It does catch people off guard a little bit, especially. And the thing is, at early doors, people might work out your game a little bit, but because you've got that momentum, actually, that breeds the confidence. You end up actually going a little bit further than what you're expected. So, chopping block now.
I'll give you a couple of names if you're thinking of Mike McCarthy in Green Bay, very warm seat, I think, and also the fact Jason Garrett in Dallas as well. Although they're not a franchise, you know, that will necessarily do that. He's not the greatest in-game manager, admittedly.
The thing with Dallas, though, I think they're being, I say unlucky. So, but with Zeke, I think with if Zeke's there, all of a sudden you're winning a few extra of those games. It is a different team. But some coaches will rely on excuses next year. If he is obviously playing every game there, and Prescott's obviously there as well, I don't think there's any excuses. So he's probably like, cheers Zeke, I'll back you, because at the end of the day now I have an excuse, and that gets me through another season.
Mike McCarthy will use the Aaron Rodgers card. I mean, that's going to be the thing with him. It's a ready-made excuse. Okay, you didn't have Aaron Rodgers for X number of games.
May have bailed him out, possibly.
In terms of the chopping block, I mean, I've gone for a friend of the show, Mike Malarkey.
Yeah.
I mean, that might sound crazy.
Like vanilla ice cream.
That might sound crazy. 8-6 records and top of their division, but I mean, the talent they have on that team, it's been wasted.
Really.
And the idea of bringing back a ground and pound offense, and also Dirk Cotter for the Buccaneers. I mean, he's done
possible.
I think he's done.
I think they're a team that are going to be on the rise next year. We said that a couple of weeks ago. We'll just
we
keep
said
an eye
that
on
this
them.
off-season, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Yeah. Well, that is true. To be fair, we're hedging our bets and doing it again. Just regurgitate the same show again. Falling viewing figures in the NFL has been a bit of a topic. What are the reasons behind this? And obviously, it's no fault of our own. But what are the reasons behind it? The falling viewing figures, in your opinion? Because I think you've got some fairly strong opinions about how the game should actually be played, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing that comes to mind is oversaturation. We just had so much. It's just you get a feeling sometimes, no matter how much you like the game, it's just too much football. And we talked about the Thursday night. You know, it's just ridiculous. The road teams are just, you know, it's just not conditioned on a long trip on a Thursday night.
Sure.
It's not competitive. Lack of off-season practice. There's only really now that offensive lines, defensive lines are really kind of coming into form due to lack of contact in the off-season.
What, after sort of 16 games, 15 games?
It takes a while, a good half the season, for those guys to be really cohesive and playing well. That's just the lack of contact.
I get that. I get it in the first month of the season, but after that, I'm not having that. Sorry, I'm going to pull you up on that one.
It only gets exciting in the last 3 games of the season. No way. Nah.
It's definitely exciting.
If you're a Cleveland Browns fan, that's for sure.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
True.
I think that, you know, obviously the Colin Kaepernick thing as well, has that caused an issue for you?
We can dive into it massively, and I feel like I have to keep mentioning this guy's name. But you look at Trump, that's obviously had a knock-on effect. Stupidity and you know, the ignorance of his sort of comments. But the figures, don't forget that this is obviously based on people sort of watching the live games as well. Not to mention how easy it is to pick up your phone, and the fact it is on Amazon and you can sort of repeat it. You know, if I want to watch the game a little bit later, I can, and I don't know how obviously that affects the viewings, obviously live games. Don't forget that obviously like some of the teams have moved around as well, so suddenly it's more accessible because there's a team in my hometown, or so I don't need to watch, I can go and watch the live games. So there's other things that obviously have knock-on effects, but you know, has it been an effect where, you know, the money is not in the sport? Well, no, because we're now seeing those deals, and you know, the viewing might have gone down in the States. But I'm telling you now, I think on the global factor, there might be a knock-on effect there. We're getting more access to it in the world that I actually think it will probably do them a world of good.
I think relocating 2 teams to LA has dented people's passion slightly.
Could be another one relocating as well. I mean, this brings on to the last sort of thing, is Carolina being put up for sale. P. Diddy, that's a name well known to you, but not to me. But I'm more of a Shakin' Stevens fan, as you well know. But I mean, could they possibly become a UK-owned franchise, or will they be moving about, or will they be sold, or will they stay where they are?
Well, they could certainly move around, but because that franchise was really built for North and South Carolina by Richardson to represent both states. I don't think they're going to be a UK franchise. And in terms of P. Diddy, I mean, the Panthers are valued at 2.8 billion. P. Diddy's worth, I'd say, only 850 million.
Right.
So unless it comes from old money, so a family with old money already in place can take over. Otherwise, it's going to be a consortium of different agendas and opinions. So whether they can put something together.
But that consortium then I mean, if you look at what P. Diddy does now, I mean, if we're going to go down his route, it wouldn't surprise me if there's a consortium of his people, like his friends and stuff. And you know, I'm not saying just throwing a name out, but let's say someone like Jay-Z, for instance, they're on the same sort of agenda that they would have, and it's sort of bringing sort of black ownership into the game, which is a completely different conversation.
Fun,
but also something, just again, we were talking about sort of coaches, sort of new age of coaching. Maybe we need that sort of new age of owner, maybe in the NFL as well, to sort of say, look, hey guys, you've been doing it this way for so long. Why don't you try this? Or and all of a sudden figures might change. Or, you know, look, they are trying, because we've seen the celebrations. Yeah, we're trying to bring that sort of entertainment in, but certainly certain things can change with a different owner. Will they be in the UK? No. I think it was always for, you know, going to be the Jags if it was going to be anyone. Unfortunately, the Jags started winning, so it's probably probably worth keeping them there.
We're not allowed them now.
Yeah, that's honestly, I think if they hadn't had such a successful season, it carried on just being the whipping boys each time, we would have probably seen them in the UK a little bit more. I mean, there's a reason, you know, the owner positioned himself with Fulham Football Club and sort of positioned himself here. But now he's obviously gone quiet and he hides somewhere, because we don't see him so often now, because it's probably like, oh, actually, I've actually got a good team up in the States.
Everbank Field now is packed to the rafters, isn't it?
Yes, it is, yeah. It would be, yeah. Panthers playoff prospects. If I agree with you, you can open those crackers. Panthers playoff prospects, chat, yes or no? Quick one.
Yes. Yes, I think.
Yeah.
You can open your crackers, chaps.
You can pull mine.
God. I'll pull yours first, mate. Oh, I win.
You win.
What have we got here? Do I have to wear the hat, Simon?
I think you have to wear the hat. You don't have to wear it now, but you can wear it later.
Thank God for
What's
that.
your joke? That's the important thing.
What is the joke? How do you make New York Jets cookies?
I don't know. How do you make New York Jets cookies?
Put them in a bowl and beat them for 3 hours.
Sounds good to me.
Sorry,
sounds
New
about
York
right.
Jet
Matt
fans.
Cracker.
Sorry.
It's very kind of you to say.
That didn't pop.
Again.
That didn't pop.
I've seen your technique. It's not great.
No.
Right, chaps. Question for you guys is, did you hear about the Buffalo Bills kicker who tried to throw himself on the floor in a fit of rage?
No.
He missed. One more. These get worse, don't they? They get worse. They get worse.
Go on. I'm going to give this one to you, mate. Yeah, you go on.
This one, am I?
Yeah, well, you've lost 3. We'll start calling you Cleveland Browns.
What does an Eagles fan do when Philadelphia win the Super Bowl?
What does an Eagles fan do when Philadelphia win the Super Bowl?
Turn off his PlayStation.
Excellent. We like that.
Oh,
Gentlemen,
poor guy.
good jokes.
Yeah.
We like that.
Yeah.
There's more where that came from.
Matt Phillips, Sam Morgan, Simon Millam. Thanks for watching The Playbook. And finally, news from the Miami Dolphins Christmas party, where Jay Cutler had to apologise for his role as a stand-up comedian. Apparently, all the jokes went over everybody's head. We're the Sports Heads. Merry Christmas. We'll see you soon. Goodbye.
Here at Red Zone, we have a soft spot for American sports, especially NFL. It's as American as cheerleading. Unfortunately, when it comes to betting on gridiron, there is very little choice between bookmakers. That's because almost all bookmakers get their odds from Las Vegas. And we all know what happens in Vegas should stay in Vegas, especially their nasty odds. So we're stripping back to basics, creating our own odds. giving you lucky punters the very best of British bookmaking for American sports. Would you like to see some more? RedZoneSports.bet, the British home of American sports.